Hi Facebook friends, I've got a little story to share with you today. Some years ago, in 1998 actually, I was travelling down to the southern highlands of New South Wales and a miracle happened for me. I was visiting the glowworms in a cave, and on the way to the glowworms I was walking along a path with my new partner in romance. It was my first, I think, outing with my boyfriend at that time, who's now my husband. And as we were walking along, the moon was shining, we were very much in love, our hearts were very loving, and the moon was full and shining across the countryside. And as we walked through this beautiful bush track to these caves, I was mesmerized by the rays of the moon shining out onto the countryside. And so I stood and I just looked at it for a moment and I thought, wow, this is incredible. It's so beautiful, shining across the landscape. And we kept walking along, and then I saw these little animals running off the path everywhere. They were obviously intimidated by our trekking along the path. It was quite early in the evening, and so they were probably scouring for food. As we walked along, there was this beautiful little bench seat, and I just had to sit on this seat. It was a very spontaneous decision. I said to my partner, I just want to sit here and just really enjoy this scenery of what's around us, how beautiful it is. And as we were looking, we sat sort of near this big tree, but there was this big gap in the bush that was like a window out into the fields, and there was a few cows out there as well, and the sun and the moon was just shining in on them. And as I sat there, I could feel the moon rays on top of me as well. So I just put my head up, closed my eyes, and I just stayed really, really present with this moment that I felt so blessed with. And within probably a few minutes, I had this massive energy come up through the earth, through my body, up into my heart space, expanding my heart, and up into my throat. And this sound came out of my mouth. It was like this A sound, but it just went on, and I didn't even take a breath. It was so strong and forceful. It was like not me doing it. I felt like there was something else around me, or it's coming up from the earth. I don't know what was going on, but it was so strong that I just had to be with this sound. And so as I was sounding, after a couple of minutes, my husband says, open your eyes, open your eyes. And I did. And as I did, to my surprise, I looked down and there's all these little animals. There's a little possum and a wombat with its baby, and there was some rabbits all sitting at my feet and looking up at me like this, in awe. I was still aing by that time. I'm still going, hey, and then I stopped and I thought, oh my God, what just happened? And then I looked down at their little faces. It was so beautiful. And I stopped and I tried to do it again, and it didn't happen because I was expecting something in return. Now, what I realized was, since that time, which was many years ago, that I needed to be in a space of no expectation, fully centered in my heart space, and just holding that energy to allow whatever would come forward to come forward through me. And so it was the most magical moment of my life. And the one thing that happened was when I stopped, they waited a few minutes, and then they slowly, casually started moving away back into the bush. But as they did, they turned around and they were looking at me like they were acknowledging me. And I felt so, so blessed by that. So they disappeared into the bush, and that was the beginning of me traveling and communicating with animals in a very different way to how I had previously. Through my heart space, I've had a lot of animals and connected with them, but this was a very magical moment and changed everything for me to travel to many places and bring animals to me. So I felt very blessed, and I felt like it was a miracle in my life to have that event. Now, I've got many stories of miracles with animals that have come to me and given me messages. And one of them, one of the times that they've come to me the most is when I've written my book. So I started writing my first book, which was Seeker of Freedom and Joy. And then I wrote my second book, which is The Power of Love with Animals. And when I wrote that book, all the animals started coming to me with messages for humanity. They wanted me to share the message to them that they have wisdom and they want to help humans live on this earth peacefully and in harmony. And they please ask, could we talk to them? Stop ignoring them and please take notice of them. And so that's my message today. If you're interested in any of my books, they're on my website, www.heartjourneyswithdebra.com, or you can look on any of the major book sites on the internet. My books will probably be found there. So leaving you with that message, and as Rumi says, when you do things from the soul, you feel a river running through you, a joy. Thanks for listening, and hopefully I'll put another story together for you on what I've experienced with animals soon. Bye for now.